Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm very pleased to brief you on the workshop background under Agenda Item 2. At the opening of this workshop, you have heard from the Secretary General that the protection of marine environment from harmful effects which may arise from activities in the area is at the core of ISA mandates. I would like to first highlight that deep seabed mining in the area has not started yet, and it may be the only example of human activities which has been effectively regulated before it even starts through the development of rules, regulations, and procedures for environmental management. In this sense, you'd note that ISA's efforts for environmental management presents a very unique case of applying the high level of precaution to the regulation of human activity to protect the marine environment. In terms of direct link between science and policy, ISA's environmental management also represents a notable example of global environmental governance. ISA's work on environmental management is directly linked to very fundamental scientific activities in the deep ocean through contractors' exploration activities such as research crews, sampling, lab analysis, and submission of annual reports and digital data to ISA Secretariat. Almost 40 years of continuous scientific research undertaken by pioneer investors and contractors during the exploration of deep sea minerals, both before and after the entry into force of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, represent a major contribution to our collective knowledge of the deep sea environment, including taxonomic knowledge. Specifically, prior to the commencement of any exploitation activities, the characteristics of the receiving environment need to be understood and documented. Under the exploration contract, contractors are obliged to gather information on environment baseline. Contractors also establish a program to monitor and report the effects of its exploration activities, including any testing of equipment on the marine environment against such environmental baselines. This data will be the primary inputs into an environmental impact assessment process as part of the future application for an exploitation contract. Then where are all these scientific data on deep sea environment collected by contractors? Are they available to you? The answer is yes. ISA systematically standardizes, collects, and centralizes all data and information which are produced and submitted by contractors through their exploration activities. This global data repository of ISA, dubbed as Deep Data, contains information relating to mineral resources, as well as biological, physical, and geochemical parameters of the marine ecosystem from the seafloor to the ocean surface. Since its public launching in July 2019, environmental data is open for public access and use through ISA website. The public access of deep data will further enhance our collective ability to protect the marine environment in the area. ISA Secretariat is convening another online workshop on deep data from 21 to 25 September, and we greatly look forward to updating various stakeholders on the progress made in the deep data. Environmental data, including taxonomic data and information, provide critical scientific basis for ISA in fulfilling its mandates for the protection of marine environment in the area. In addition to environmental impact assessment, as well as environmental monitoring and management system to be undertaken by the contractors within their contract areas, which I mentioned in previous slide, ISA has developed environmental management plans at regional scale since 2012, where exploration activities under contracts are carried out. Regional environmental management plans provide a proactive framework for identifying environmental management measures and tools at regional scale, including area-based management tools and scientific approaches to address cumulative impacts and apply adaptive management. For example, the environmental management plan of the Clarion-Clipperton Zone in the Eastern Pacific was approved in 2012, establishing a network of 9 areas of particular environmental interest to represent the full range of biodiversity and habitats in the region. This network of areas of particular environmental interest in CCZ area, collectively covering 1.4 million square kilometers, are entirely protected from any future mining activities. In support of the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the ISA Secretariat has prepared an action plan for marine scientific research, which will be considered by the Assembly in forthcoming session. This action plan identifies 6 strategic research priorities as aligned with the ISA strategic plan and high-level action plan. Before I bring you to the details of the strategic research priorities of this action plan, which are relevant to the objectives of this workshop, let me remind you of some keywords regarding this action plan, which include scientific knowledge, technological innovations, environmental protection, capacity development, partnership, and blue economy. These thematic priorities are embedded in the Appendix 1 of the action plan document that was circulated to you as a background documents for this workshop. While all the strategic research priorities are relevant to the theme of this workshop deliberation, I would like to bring to your attention the second strategic research priority, which highlights ISA's focus to facilitate collaborative efforts among different contractors, scientific institutions, museums, and other stakeholders to standardize and innovate methodologies for deep-sea biodiversity assessment. It is very critical to establish a coherent set of scientific reference for species identification, description, and classification in support of our collective efforts for biodiversity conservation and environmental protection in the area. Building on this firm commitment, this workshop is being convened together with all of you, and I greatly look forward to listening to your views and suggestions on how we can make this commitment a reality by working together in partnership. With this background, I'm now happy to invite my colleague, Dr. Luciana Genio, environmental analyst of ISA Secretariat, to introduce you the workshop scope and objectives. Thank you for your attention.